Hello, everyone, and welcome to our latest online event here at the University of California, Merced. My name is Jessica Taran Salazar, and I'm the coordinator for the Ambassador Program here at UC Merced. We are so excited that you could join us tonight to learn more about the Merced Automatic Admission Program. Before we get started, I'd like to offer everyone a couple of quick tips. If you would like to adjust your audio settings, you can do so on the lower left corner of your screen by clicking the audio settings button. If you'd like to adjust the size of your window, you can click on the view options in the upper portion of your screen. Lastly, and most importantly, please take full advantage of our Q&A button that is located on your screen. We will have a live question and answer session at the end of this program where we will be able to answer your questions live as well as behind the scenes with our content experts. Please stay tuned because we also have a student panel where students will be able to share about their firsthand experiences at UC Merced. Once again, my name is Jessica Taran Salazar. I'm the Ambassador Coordinator here at UC Merced, and a big welcome to all of you. At this time, it's my great honor and privilege to hand things over to our Director of Admissions, Dustin Noji.
Thanks, Jessica. And I just want to thank everyone who's joining us tonight. It's a big and amazing part of your journey to be here. Being a part of the Merced Automatic Admissions Program means that you've achieved a lot. And in partnerships with your school districts, we're able to provide this opportunity to you and your families to be admitted to a University of California campus. Being a part of a University of California campus means joining the UC family, a group of prestigious campuses that's known worldwide for its research, academic scholarship that involves not only our students and our faculty, but scholars throughout the world. And as a UC student, you'll have the opportunity to participate in many of these research opportunities, both at our campus and even places abroad. So we want to thank you again for taking your time on a Monday night to come and learn more about the Merced Automatic Admissions Program and about the opportunity right in your backyard, the University of California, Merced. If you haven't heard about our campus before, we are the first research university built in the San Joaquin Valley to address not only the issues and problems that face us, residents of the San Joaquin Valley, but also the world. And it's an exciting time to be a part of our campus to see so many new things emerging. Just this past year, the governor visited our campus to pledge over $4 million to start a medical education building at UC Merced. This medical education building will help provide medical education for scholars throughout the San Joaquin Valley and California. And just this fall, we're about to admit our first class of BS to MD students who will start as high school graduates and go all the way to UC San Francisco Medical School with an additional guarantee of admissions. There are many other pathways like this for our health scholars to follow. And as we provide more of those opportunities for you to come and study UC Merced about health and health disparities within the Valley, these resources will be available to yourself and to future students as we continue to grow our medical education program. Not only that, we've also invested in things like our Smart Farm, where our mechanical engineering students and our faculty are coming together to create new technologies to think about the future of food and its role in the state of California and the world. And you as students will have an opportunity to participate in many of these research opportunities. At a University of California campus, you're not just a student, you're a scholar. And many of the academic facilities that you'll see in our campus as a part of our 2020 project, there will be students and faculty working on some of the groundbreaking research and problems to create new solutions in our changing environment. Not only in our sciences and our medical education, but also in things like political science, our students get to engage with folks like our governor, who recently came into one of our classrooms to talk about the roles of politics in California and in the world. Students at UC Merced get to launch and be a part of these brand new ideas every day, and we want to welcome you as San Joaquin Valley students to take advantage of this opportunity. At UC Merced, we've been around now for 20 years, and in those 20 years, we've recently been named one of the top innovative campuses, not only in the United States, but in the world. And this is an amazing opportunity for you as Valley students to come and participate in that research that can help you solve some problems in the Valley or launch your career worldwide. At UC Merced, we're excited to also let students know and families know that at UC Merced, our students go on to pursue master's programs and PhD programs at some of the highest rates in the entire UC system. And in this very special moment in our development, as we grow as a campus, you'll have an opportunity to benefit from many of those close relationships with your faculty members that can involve research of your own volition, special projects to help you build your interest, and hopefully build towards a future career and goals that you have in mind. Tonight, you'll get a chance to hear a little bit more about our Merced automatic admissions program that helps you demystify the admissions process. You might be thinking about college. You may not be thinking about college. You may be thinking about where and you need to study and what you need to do. But through the automatic admissions program, we help take some of that mystique out of the process and guarantee you admission as an amazing scholar to our campus. We hope that you get a chance to learn more about these exciting possibilities tonight, to learn more about what makes UC Merced unique. And of course, we want to welcome and hope that you choose UC Merced in the future. With that said, I'm going to turn it back over to our host tonight, Jessica, to learn more about our program and introduce you to our staff.
Thank you, Dustin. So as I mentioned, I am Jessica Salazar. I'm the ambassador coordinator, and I'm really excited to be here with you all tonight. But next up, I'd like to welcome some of my other colleagues on screen to introduce themselves.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jose Navarro. I am the admissions public advisor for the University of California, Merced. And let me say what an honor it is to have you here. Your strong work ethic has gotten you here, and I look forward to telling you more about our campus and the opportunities that are here for you to be able to develop yourself professionally and personally.
Hi, everyone. My name is Caitlin Lopez. I am a senior admissions advisor here in the Northern Central Valley region of California. So if you find yourself living in Madera County, Merced County, Stanislaus County, San Joaquin County, I am your admissions representative. Hopefully I will meet you at your high school soon if we haven't met already. But I have the pleasure tonight to talk to you about the MAAP program and the MAAP requirements. So let's go ahead and get started. So why are you here tonight? Well, as I said, I'm very excited to share Merced automatic admission program this evening. UC Merced has partnered with over 13 school districts in the San Joaquin Valley. And through this partnership, we have been able to identify students that are considered to be among the top 12.5% of California high schools. And they are on track to complete UC A through G requirements through graduation. In order to be eligible for the Merced automatic admission program, we also are going to ask you to complete a specific set of MAAP criteria, which I am going to discuss in just a few moments. Next slide. So before we get into the MAAP criteria, though, we want to make sure that you understand what MAAP is and why we are so excited about it. So as previously mentioned, UC Merced has a partnership with several San Joaquin Valley school districts to create a pathway for students to earn guaranteed admission to a UC campus, specifically UC Merced. I do want to note that unlike other campuses, when you apply early, this guaranteed admission is non-binding, and you are still strongly encouraged to apply to any college or university of your choice. But we know how stressful it can be applying to college. So the purpose of MAAP is really to provide our San Joaquin Valley students some peace of mind as they apply to universities in the fall, so that they know that they have a guaranteed spot at UC Merced, which is really right in their backyard. So what do you need to do in order to earn your guaranteed spot at UC Merced? Well, first, we need you to complete those A through G required courses that are required of you for first-year admissions to any UC campus. We also expect a weighted GPA of 3.5. Just as a reminder, in order to apply and be admitted to the UC system, you are expected to have a minimum 3.0. But we do expect our students that will earn guaranteed admission to be of a higher caliber, which is why we are expecting that 3.5 weighted GPA. We also ask that you have earned no grade less than a C in all of your A through G courses. You will be asked to complete 3 of the 4 required English courses and your entire math sequence, including geometry, by the end of your junior year. So you still need to complete all 4 years of math, and I do strongly encourage you to complete more than the minimum 3 years of math as well. But that is what you need to do in order to apply for MAAP to guarantee your admission to the university. So if you find that you meet those minimum requirements, again, we want to encourage you to please submit a free MAAP application. The MAAP application is already available on our website. So you can go to admissions.ucmerced.edu/MAAP to find that application. That application is due no later than July 1st. So again, you're a junior this year and you need to submit it right now to guarantee your space at UC Merced. You'll also need to go ahead and submit your UC first year application during the month of October or November. Just as a reminder, you do need to apply to UC Merced on that UC application. That application opens August 1st. The first day you can submit your application is October 1st, and the final day is November 30th. And now I'm going to go ahead and walk you through what we are asking for in the free MAAP application. Now, keep in mind, the UC application for admission is very extensive, but we have tried to make it simpler for you for this MAAP application, so you're not doing a significant amount of work twice. But we are going to ask you to complete some of the basics: your name, your language spoken at home, your date of birth, the best email address to get a hold of you, your phone number, and your mailing address. And then we're going to ask you for some school information. So it's very important that you provide your high school information. You will need to search for your high school in our search bar. Only the participating schools are going to populate in that search. We are also going to ask you to provide us with your school ID and your school-based email address as well. And it's very important. One of the biggest mistakes we saw with the MAAP application last year was students forgot to enter college coursework. So remember, some of your college classes can be counted as A through G requirements. So we want to make sure that you are getting credit for completing those A through G courses. So please make sure that you enter all of your college coursework that you have completed, which would be considered A through G. And then the last thing that I want to mention, just again, when you select your major preference on your MAAP application, it is not binding. So I recognize that right now you're about to start your senior year, you're ending your junior year, and you might think you know what you want to study. And by the time you go to apply to the UC system, you may have already changed your mind. That is okay. That is not a problem with us at all. So again, you can choose a different major when you do submit your UC application, and it will not impact that automatic admission status. Another thing that we will need you to do at the end of this application is decide if you are going to release information to your parents or guardians, and you do need to provide information release to UC Merced so we can process and evaluate your application. One thing I do want to mention about the MAAP application and process for guaranteeing your self-admission to UC Merced is that all majors are included in the MAAP application. However, guaranteed admission does not guarantee you admission to UC Merced programs such as Fiat Lux or the BS to MD pathway option. So those are two separate application processes that would not be included in the Merced automatic admission program. At this point, I'm going to now go ahead and pass it back to my colleague Jose, and he'll talk to you more about why you should choose UC Merced.
Thank you, Caitlin. Now we're going to go over why you should choose the University of California, Merced. At the University of California, Merced, did you know that 99% of undergraduate scholars are from the state of California? We have a little bit over 8,000 undergraduate students, and we have over 700 graduate students. Did you know at UC Merced you could also pursue graduate school? We have a total enrollment of over 9,000 scholars on our campus. Majority of our scholars identify as first generation, meaning that they're going to be the first in their family to attain a higher education. 67% of all undergraduates are first generation scholars. 58% are new first generation scholars who are incoming from high school. And then 66% of first generation scholars are new transfer scholars, meaning that they're transferring from another institution or a community college. Now, for our continuing generation scholars too, you also have a community on our campus. As many of you have the same questions about what you would like to major in or questions about navigating college, you have the opportunity to build a community on our campus with your fellow scholars. Now let's talk about majors. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know what a major is? If you do, please feel free to write it in the chat. A major is a specific area of study that you're going to focus in. At UC Merced, we have 27 different majors, and they're housed under 3 schools: the School of Engineering, the School of Natural Sciences, and the School of Social Sciences, Humanities, and Arts. As you can see, these majors have acronyms right next to them: BS, BA. BS stands for Bachelor of Science, and then BA stands for Bachelor of Arts. Now, perhaps you might not know what you want to major in, and I want you to know that's okay. That's normal. You also have the option to come in as undeclared. Now, perhaps you might know that you want to major in a certain area, but you don't know what specific major you want to major in. Each school has the option for undeclared. This is really your opportunity to take advantage of all your lower division general education and discover more about what is it that you like, what is it that you want to do. We've actually come a long way too in our short period of time. We're among the top 40 we are among the top 40 best public research universities here in the nation. In the classroom, the student to faculty ratio is 21:1, meaning that your professors are easily accessible. Perhaps in the future, you might be applying for a professional opportunity, internship, or scholarship. Who then to ask than your professors, because your professors know of your strong work ethic. Over 62% of our undergraduate classes have fewer than 30 students, meaning that you can talk with your professors easily, and you can also build a community with your peers. We have a little bit over 400 faculty members. 44% of our faculty are female faculty. 33% of our faculty come from minority groups. We also have living learning communities here on our campus. We have our Fiat Lux Scholars Program, our natural sciences, leadership and service, social justice, gender inclusive housing, Afro Hall, and transfer learning community. With these living learning communities, you have the option to live with others like-minded scholars like yourself who are interested in pursuing similar interests. This is really great for you because you get that opportunity to build a community, you build resiliency, and you also build yourself professionally and personally with your peers. I would definitely encourage you to visit housing.ucmerced.edu and learn about our living learning communities and the opportunities that they offer for you to grow. We have residence halls such as Granite Pass, Glacier Point, many student support services on our campus that will help you succeed and that will help you navigate the college setting, and our academic classrooms too. We have almost 200 clubs and organizations on our campus. I definitely encourage you to get involved with clubs and organizations, as they will give you the opportunity to network with others, build yourself professionally and personally, participate in research projects or conferences. We have learning opportunities outside the classroom. We have UC education abroad in nearly 35 countries. So if you still want to continue your education, but you want to go to another country to learn new things, you have the opportunity with UC education abroad. I will also tell you, we have international scholars currently studying at UC Merced. I would encourage you to make friends with these international scholars because you might go to their country in the future and study in one of their countries, and they can help you navigate that country. We have UC education abroad with, we have UC-DC with our UC Sacramento office. So you also have the opportunity to go to Washington, DC, observe legislative sessions, answer constituent inquiries, and network with lawmakers. We have new cutting edge technology at our campus. Did you know that NASA had a mission back in 2020? And some of the parts that were used to make the rover were manufactured at UC Merced. So NASA and UC Merced partnered up to have a mission where they sent a rover to Mars. And former and current students at our tribology lab helped manufacture those parts to ensure the mission success in 2020. So after graduation, where do our graduates go and work? As you can see, there's many companies there that stand out to you. Many of our graduates have gone on to work for really big companies such as Apple, CBS Interactive, Facebook, NASA, Tesla. And that's just a list of a few. There's so many other opportunities where our scholars go and work. Did you know we're #1 in the UC system for percentage of students who go on to pursue graduate school and earn a master's degree? We're actually #2 for students who go on to pursue a PhD, a doctorate. On our right-hand side, you will see the graduate schools that have accepted UC Merced scholars. Northeastern University, Santa Clara, and other UC campuses. You also have the opportunity, if you want to pursue a master's, a doctorate, get licensing or certification, to specialize in a certain field. And you could also pursue graduate school at UC Merced. You can afford UC Merced. We're the #1 public university in the nation for percentage of students who receive need-based aids and grants. 89% of UC Merced students have received financial aid. The average gift aid that is offered to eligible UC Merced students is a little bit over $21,000. We have a blue and gold opportunity plan that expands access to UC for lower income students who are earning less than $80,000 a year. And this blue and gold opportunity plan ensures that students don't have to pay the UC system-wide fees and tuition. We also have our middle class scholarship, and this provides funding to help middle class students attend the UC. So for students who are earning well above $100,000, there's also funding to help them pay for their tuition, for their schooling. These opportunities are available to you when you apply through your financial aid application. And keeping in mind too that everyone's case is unique, as when you're applying for your financial aid, the income eligibility is taken into account. Now I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to my colleague Jessica and our wonderful scholars at UC Merced.
Thank you, Caitlin. That was a great overview of the Merced Automatic Admission Program. And then Jose, you did an awesome job recapping UC Merced and just all the wonderful things that our campus has to offer. At this point, I would like to welcome our 3 student panelists to join us on screen to share a little bit more about their experience as Bobcats. But first, let's start off with some introductions. Our first student panelist is going to be Lena Sanchez. Lena Sanchez, do you mind sharing a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Lena Sanchez. I'm a second-year student studying molecular biology right now at UC Merced. I'm from the Central Valley. I'm from Turlock, which is about 40 minutes away.
Awesome. And then our second panelist is George Cruz. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, George?
Yes, hello. My name is George Cruz. I'm a fourth year computer science engineering major, studying at UC Merced. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and yeah.
And then last, but of course not least, our third panelist, Jocelyn Ramirez Guardian. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jocelyn Merced Guardian. I am a fourth year sociology major here at UC Merced, and I'm from Long Beach, California.
Awesome, perfect. And so I always like to start off with this question and just make sure we cover it. And I think it's a great way to kick off our student panel tonight. So why did you choose UC Merced?
Yeah, so I chose UC Merced not only because of the proximity to my hometown, which is Turlock, but also because of the research that's being done right now on campus. I remember hearing about all the research labs and projects that they're doing, and I definitely wanted to be a part of that because those are life-changing. That's life-changing research that they're conducting, and especially in the career field that I want to go into, which is medicine. I definitely want to be a part of that, and it really helps that the student to class or student to professor ratios are relatively small, so it really opens doors for me when I get to connect to my professors and just kind of get a foot into that life-changing research. So that's my main reason that I chose UC Merced.
Any of our other two panelists have anything they'd like to add on why they chose UC Merced?
Yes. So the reason I chose UC Merced was because I wanted to pursue computer science and engineering, and through there, researching about the school of engineering, UC Merced had a very good program, which now I can testify that honestly I made the right choice. I worked in a lot of different projects throughout my courses. I've been part of many internships, externships while I've been in UC Merced. And honestly, a big thing too as well, the diverse culture that we have here at UC Merced is one of the things that I heard as an admitted student that UC Merced offered too. And then also I like being around nature, and UC Merced is close by Yosemite. So yeah.
Thank you. So our next question here is, what does community mean to you, and where do you find that on campus? And whoever would like to answer this, please feel free to.
So community means to me is a support system that necessarily just guide you through college, through any lifelong struggles, etc. And the community that I found on campus was through my Luck scholarship club that I was in. And I found a lot of mentors and a lot of people who guided me through different struggles in my college career till this day. So for example, my advisors in Luck scholarship, they were able to guide me through certain hardships I was going through, whether it might be being homesick or struggling in my classes, or even just how to navigate the transition from being a high school grad to being a college grad. So I definitely found a community-based relationship there, as well as the clubs and organizations that I have been a part of. For example, Hermanas Unidas. We are all pretty much Latinas in this college environment. Therefore, we're just uplifting one another and just being able to support each other. So I found my sense of community through there.
I can just add on to that. Yeah, same thing with the clubs and the organizations that I'm involved in. It definitely helped to put myself out there because now I'm surrounded by my fraternity brothers and sisters who kind of, even on days that we don't have school, we still are able to hang out and help each other with things like homework or even just to like de-stress, and that definitely helps.
Thank you. So our next question is, who or what was the most helpful resource to helping you get to UC Merced?
So the most helpful resource that has guided me through UC Merced to this day has been the Bright Success Center, which is incorporated with the scholarship that I'm part of, like I mentioned before, the Luck scholarship. And through the Bright Success Center, I was able to attend different workshops that catered to, let's say, mental health, how to balance time management, how to get outside of your bubble and join certain clubs and organizations. So I definitely have used the Bright Success Center a lot throughout my 4 years in my college career. And it has brought me it has opened so many doors for me to be able to expand my knowledge on UC Merced and be able to use these resources that we have on campus to um, develop as a person, as a student, and overall by myself.
Yeah, definitely. I would say a lot of the professors that I've had personally have helped me through the college journey. Definitely, like, a lot of the classes, or all classes, all professors offer office hours, which is a time where, like, each professor allots time to meet with certain classes. So, like, they're very welcoming. You could just have conversations with them, get to know them. Through there, like, they could help you with like any topics that you don't understand. They could help you with getting connections with employers, because, like, those professors, or personally, for computer science, the professors that I've had have worked in great tech companies, so they're pretty familiar with the workforce. And yeah, so, like, I'd say that, to honestly, like, the professor are very helpful. Some of them even, like, check on, like, some of their students. I personally have had a physics professor email me saying that, like, I'm this close to getting an A, like, if you do this assignment, like, make sure you turn it on time. So that felt pretty good. So yeah.
Awesome, thank you. So we know that we may have some folks joining us today from Merced, but from those that are joining us just a little bit, maybe south or north of Merced, can you tell us a little bit about what there is to do here in Merced as a student, and what the life is like at UC Merced?
I can go ahead and start. So me personally, I got myself involved. So on campus, I got myself involved in a club and an organization. I'm a part of a medical fraternity called Phi Delta Epsilon, and I'm also part of a pre-health club. So we have sometimes club meetings during the week, but we'll also do kind of social events over the weekends. But outside of school, I'm always in downtown Merced. They have really good restaurants, and my first time trying boba was actually here in Merced. So there's a couple boba shops, and I'm a big coffee fan, so I always go to the coffee shops. And I'm also a big nature fan too, so I'm always in Yosemite if I have the time off. So usually, yeah, there's a lot of things to do outside of campus, definitely, but there's also events held on campus for students through like the Office of Student Involvement, where we have like festivals for our students with music, games, prizes, things like that. So there's a good balance between events on campus and off campus that you can always choose from.
Jocelyn, what about yourself? What do you like to do around in Merced?
Like Nina mentioned, I also joined a social organization called Hermanas Unidas, like I mentioned previously. And through there, I was able to make lots of friendships. And they host weekly meetings as well, where they have different activities in order for you to distress or just get to know each other, or what to do around Merced. But personally, I just like to hang out with my friends. I have a house where we all have different housemates, and we all pretty much gather there, maybe do like a little carne asada or something, just laid back, because we are all super busy and have different schedules. But Merced, although it is very small, it does have some hidden gems, which I do recommend you guys take time to discover.
Thank you. And so I remember being a student and staying on campus to study pretty late in the day, in the night, and then also having classes till pretty dark once it was pretty dark. So can one of you or maybe two of you talk about campus safety and whether you feel safe on campus?
Yes, of course. I have also had classes in the evening. For example, last semester I had a class from 6:30 p.m. to 7:20, and I struggled a lot with it because of the time change. So the only reason why I felt safe on campus was because there was a lot of students who also had the same schedule as me, and there are like blue light poles which are connected to the UC Merced police department, where they're all scattered around campus. And let's say you are in an emergency or you do feel unsafe, you could just press the blue button and it will light up, and a employee from the UC Merced Police Department will escort you to your destination, whether it's at the parking lot, at your dorm, at the cafeteria, pavilion, or any location that you'll be going to next. They'll be able to escort you and make sure you get there safely. So that's only one of the resources we do have available on campus. And let me let you guys know that it is 24 hours. So let's say you are having to travel during, let's say, 5 a.m. and you do feel unsafe because it is really dark outside. Like for myself, I had to leave early in the morning to head back to LA. So on my way to the parking lot, there were different poles that I was able to take a look at and have accessibility to it. So that's only one of the many resources that we have available on campus for student and faculty to feel safe.
Awesome. And so I know some of your tour guides, some of your student ambassadors. So my next question is, how do you balance work, school, and then just life as a student?
So yeah, in for me, basically, so like, I choose my classes more in the like noon, afternoon. Some like, some labs that I have, like, have to be in the morning. So from there, like, I have different gaps where I add like my work schedule, like, from certain time to certain time I could work a so and so day. And then I open my availability during the weekend, and just a lot time during the weekend to do homework, and then also time for my personal life too as well. So I just like, make sure that I have everything set like in the calendar, so I know what I'm gonna do each day. And if anything comes up, then like, just making sure that things could be like flexible. Um w- and also like, sometimes I have like multiple meetings throughout the week too. So I just make sure that they don't intervene with my class schedule and my work schedule too. So yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna add, yeah, same thing. I like to kind of just have like my calendar color coded. So things for like my personal life, school, work, and then my organization, or yeah, my clubs and my organizations. But usually, like, I know sometimes it can get stressful working and being a student, especially when you're taking the full like 16 units. So usually what I do is once my day is done, I have my computer shut by like 10, and then I just kind of take the last hour to 30 minutes of my night just on my phone, watching a movie or reading a book, just to kind of like ease my mind a little bit. Because sometimes it does get busy, but you always need to take that time for yourself too.
Thank you. So I asked a question about a resource that helped you get to UC Merced. What about a resource that has been helpful while you're at UC Merced that you'd like to share and would like students to know more about?
I think the very important one, especially for me, so I do live off campus, so which that means I have to kind of get my own groceries, cook for myself. One resource that I use quite often is the Bobcat Pantry, which is kind of like a grocery store for students, but everything's free. I've gotten pretty good vegetables like bell peppers, asparagus, rice, beans, or even like canned soup, things like that. That's definitely become helpful, especially since like if I'm on campus already and I don't want to head to the grocery store, I can just head to the Bobcat Pantry and grab some groceries really quick. That's been really helpful. Aside from like grocery stuff and food security stuff, the tutoring centers also are a big help. Like chemistry, the chem center and the math center all that. So yeah.
Adding on to what my coworker Lena had mentioned, I have been using a lot lately the writing center just because as a sociology major, I have plenty of papers to write, and some of them are even like 12 pages long. So I definitely need that extra support when writing these papers out. So I just go ahead and book an appointment at the writing center. They'll go ahead and read my papers, make sure I have everything cited so I won't be considered plagiarized, and they'll give me their honest feedback, and I'll be able to use that, and be able to retype it. Or if they say, oh, Jocelyn, this might be better off if you leave it out, I'll go ahead and do that. But they see me quite often just because I do have a lot of papers that I have to turn in, and I always want to make sure that I'm turning them in at my best ability. So the Writing Center has for sure been a great resource for me on campus.
Awesome. So, how would you describe the professors at UC Merced? And I can hear from one or two of you just how you would describe our professors.
I could go ahead and start with that question. The professors at UC Merced are super supportive. So I know because it is a college atmosphere and a college campus, sometimes you are intimidated to go up to your professor and ask them questions, or even if you do have any comments or concerns while they lecture, you kind of hesitate to raise your hand. But here at UC Merced, the professors are very welcoming and very friendly. So they make an environment in their lecture or even their classroom to make you feel very comfortable, that when you do have a question or you do have a doubt, you could just feel free to raise your hand in mid lecture. And oftentimes that's not the case. So the professors here at UC Merced, they're very open and they let you know that they're here as a resource to guide you and to help you. And for example, one of my sociology professors, Mr. Yang, he's the advisor for the sociology club. And I remember I had him when we first came back from COVID, and I was very, very hesitant to ask a question, but he made me feel very comfortable, and I was able to ask him for advice on like what to pursue for my master's, as well as his wife. She was also very, very helpful, and they both guided me into the right direction and gave me an idea of to what I wanted to do after I graduated. So they are very supportive and very welcoming people. And as a piece of advice, I definitely recommend to ask for help, especially for the professors and the faculty.
I'd like to hear from each of you on this question, but what has been the most challenging class you've taken and how did you overcome it?
Oh, I can start. So I'm a molecular bio major, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm taking a lot of chemistry, math, bio classes. But I gotta say that the hardest class so far has had to be chemistry, which is the one I'm in right now. It's just a lot of material for me. It doesn't come easy to me. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm always in the chem center, which I'm so glad that they're there because I'm there as much as I can be. It's just a lot of like things to memorize, formulas to memorize. So I'm always in there practicing, and I'm always using the whiteboards in the library, doing my math, and it looks crazy, but it's a cool class. It's just really difficult for me and it comes hard to me, but it'll be worth it. So it's okay.
For myself, I believe one of the hardest class that I've taken at UC Merced was one of the upper div classes for sociology as a sophomore. So the transition from taking, let's say, your GE to now upper divs was very challenging for me because of the workload and the homework that we had. So how I was talking about earlier about the papers, well, let's say it was an essay of 6 pages and now it was a research paper of 12 pages. So that was really hard transition for me. But the writing center was there as a resource, and my professor actually guided me through it and recommended me to attend because I went up to her and I told her that I was having trouble with the papers. So thankfully she recommended me that resource and I was able to pass with a good grade.
For me, one of my upper division CSE courses, it's CSE 100, which is algorithm design and analysis. It's a very rigorous course because it's like the bridge to like all the technical electives that I have to take as a computer science engineering major. So yeah, honestly, that was like a pretty challenging class for me.
All right, so we're actually at our last question for the night, and I think it's a great way to end the student panel, and I'd love to hear from each and one of you. What is one piece of advice that you'd give your younger self or your high school self?
I can go. The one piece of advice I would go back and tell myself is that like now is the perfect time to break your bad habits and to start good habits. So like for example, I moved out last year and it's been such a journey just learning how to be on my own, being independent, working, paying my bills, buying my own groceries. So now it's a good time to like, I was a messy person at home because I was expecting my parents to clean. So now I have to build this habit of, picking up after myself. And just even with like work and school balance, it's like I have to learn how to do things for school, work, but also myself. So I have to, break that bad habit of just laying in bed on TikTok all day, and actually, get myself to get up and do something and feel productive. So now is the perfect time to break your bad habits and build good habits. I'm still learning to do that, and I probably will continue until I graduate, even after I graduate, because there's always going to be adjustments that you're going to have to make. So just take advantage of the time you have here at college. It goes by so fast. So learn as much as possible, and not just about like, what you're studying, but also about yourself and how you work as an individual in school and outside of school. So yeah, that's my biggest piece of advice.
A piece of advice that I would tell my younger self or my high school self would definitely have to be ask for help if you need it, and to be fearless and confident while like taking those risks. Because I know coming into UC Merced, I was so nervous, I was so scared, I didn't know what was approaching, whether I was leaving my hometown. I never knew what it was like to live in a new city and just to be independent overall. But thankfully, thank God, I was able to just be persistent and be confident in every decision I was making, because technically my family and all my loved ones were back home. So it was up to myself to make all those decisions for me and for the better of my future. So definitely to be confident and ask for help when you need it, when you do feel stuck in the process of applying to school, or when you get to school already. Don't be afraid to ask for help, to go to your mentors, to the faculty, to the professional staff on campus, and just let them know that you're struggling, and they'll provide you the resources, whatever it is, whether you need money, you need food, you need transportation, whether you have an issue with your dorm mate, with anything, definitely ask for help, because they'll be able to navigate you through the experience, and be confident in yourself that everything's going to be okay. It is a learning process, it is something new, but ultimately it'll be very, very rewarding in the end.
Yeah, and for me, I'd say like, just take advantage of all the opportunities that your high school gives you, whether you're an avid, you're in a college preparatory school, just take all the advantages, like, the resources they have, um, you know, just making sure that you're on track, like, to go into college. And most importantly too, one thing that I wish I knew is like, at least take like one or two college courses that could help you out, like, to advance in your major. That's something that I definitely would tell my old self, or my younger self. So yeah.
Well, thank you all. Y'all are awesome, and I'm totally not biased, but thank you all for sharing your experience with us. I always just love hearing from you all. I would like to hand over the virtual mic to Dustin Nochi, the Director of Admissions, to close us out for the night.
Thanks so much, Jessica, and thank you to our panelists and all of our speakers tonight. You all are wonderful. Again, congratulations on being to the MAAP program, and as Caitlin provided a great overview, I just want to make sure that you're aware of some upcoming dates and deadlines regarding the Merced Automatic Admissions Program. You have until July the 1st to submit your MAAP application to UC Merced. We know that's a long ways away in the future, but the sooner you get it done, the better, and you can enjoy the rest of your summer. For those students that submit their MAAP application on time, we will begin evaluating your application starting the 1st of August, and we will provide you with an admissions decision no later than September the 30th. And that gives you, right before the UC application opens for submission, a guaranteed admissions to our campus if you continue to meet all the MAAP criteria. And what's important is your invitation to the MAAP program is based on your current coursework at your high school. So it's important that you continue to maintain your academic performance. We know that you are certainly top level students, but again, make sure you maintain your top academic performance over the course of your junior year so that you can submit your application to the MAAP program. All MAAP students must submit a University of California application. And the UC application filing period is between October the 1st through November the 30th. So you'll need to fill out the University of California application. And again, you'll know that in your back pocket, you have that MAAP guarantee. And then one of the things that happens as a part of the MAAP program is we will notify you before all other admitted students officially of your admissions to UC Merced during the month of February. So you'll have some additional time to explore our campus, learn a little bit more about UC Merced, what makes us unique, and also opportunities to apply for special programs we have, like our Living Learning Community, and just explore our campus. And so as MAAP students, we did want to make you aware of some very unique opportunities that are available exclusively to you. Next slide, please. One of those is a program that we have called Experience UC Merced, and one of my colleagues is going to drop a link to that program in the chat. Experience UC Merced is a program where you have the opportunity to come and experience life as a college student. You come to campus, you get to sign up for classes, attend classes, see what it's like to be one of those academic scholars that you heard about our students talk about, and about different opportunities that you might want to explore, whether that be a biology class, a computer science course. There are a number of different courses that you can sit in and see what it's like to be a Bobcat at UC Merced. Normally, this opportunity is only for admitted students, but as MAAP students, this year you'll have the opportunity to come and tour campus with your family, sit in a class and experience college life for yourself, and you'll also have a free meal on us as a part of the program. So you can sign up for that program right now. Seats are limited, so we highly encourage you to sign up early to participate in that. And lastly, we'd like to invite you to Bobcat Day. Bobcat Day is our big open house where we invite prospective and admitted students to UC Merced to see it in all of its glory. You'll see over 6,000 people on campus that day, our academic departments, our student groups, student performances. You'll get to hear and talk with our faculty and students about what it is like to be a Bobcat at UC Merced, and you can tour some of those brand new facilities we talked about. So whether your interest lies in computer science, in big data, into healthcare, into psychology, political science, or you're interested in things like mechanical engineering, you can come and explore our campus, talk to our current students about what it's like to be a Bobcat. And as we always say, any and every campus you're thinking about, if you have the opportunity, go and visit. Because as you walk around on that campus, you'll have the opportunity to imagine yourself at that place. We know UC Merced is super amazing and special, and you heard about some of the things that make UC Merced so special. But what's important is that you walk around and you feel like you can come to a place that will both support you as well as continue to push you in your growth on your way to those careers and dreams that you have after the university. Next slide, please. So I'd like to hand it back over to Jessica to close out tonight's program. But again, on behalf of the University of California, Merced, congratulations on making it to this point. We hope to see your MAAP application in by July the 1st, and we hope you become a Bobcat. Jessica?
Thank you, Dustin. Yes, and if you have any questions or any concerns along the way, we are here to help you. You can reach us either by phone number or through email. We also want to take this time to have you us. Follow us on our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you again for joining us on a Monday night, and we hope that you found this event helpful. Good night, everyone.